everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of the MSG 150 at Home. Hope everyone has had a good Friday. Great to have you with us. Bill Pidto, Steve Valiquette, Michelle Gingras, and Alan Hahn. Michelle, it's great to see you. We all know you're in your first year of marriage. The question is, after all this, will you have a second year of marriage?
I don't know. You should ask my husband. He's sitting right over there. No, it's actually been really nice. We've gotten to spend a lot more time together than we typically do with our jobs and our schedules. So far, that has actually been not bad at all.
Just so you guys know, I'm in my 23rd year of marriage, and the 24th year right now is looking spotty at best.
Shocker with your personality.
Wow.
What about you guys? How are you guys doing?
Well, we work so much, right? We put so much time in at night that we're really, not home much at night because that's when games are played. That's when we're on the air. And so I'm home at night now with the family. I've really gotten to know them really well, and they're actually pretty good people.
You want to keep the kids?
Why not?
If anybody can prevent my younger daughter from staying up past 5 a.m., let me know, because she's become a vampire.
They're all nocturnal. All these kids, all of them nocturnal. It's amazing.
Obviously we spend most of our time watching sports. We're in time now, and who knows when things are going to start, and who knows in what form in which they might start. But I tell you, what I miss most is this is playoff time. And last night, guys, on the NHL Network, they showed Game 7 between the Rangers and the Canucks. And you go back and watch the celebration of that team with the guys that we have worked with, like Mike Keenan and Brian Leach, and we know Mike Richter a little bit. It was just an amazing experience to watch that. And that's what I'm going to miss most during playoff time, watching these teams and these athletes celebrate. What about you, Alan?
Yeah, well, look, next week would have been the last week of the regular season for the NBA, and so we would have been ramping up into seeing where everybody finishes 1 through 8 in both conferences and what the matchups would be. We'd be debating about LeBron. Could he have made a push to win the MVP over Giannis Antetokounmpo? Like, that's where it really gets fun. Just like you said, it's that time of the year where we just start anticipating what is the fun season, which is the playoffs in both of the winter sports. We don't get to have that right now. And then obviously, just locally with the Knicks, we'd start talking about where they go forward from here with a new president, Leon Rose, and what type of decisions that he'd be making in the front office. And then obviously looking forward to another draft and another draft lottery.
I think for us guys, hockey's really missed. And the first round of the playoffs is what everybody looks forward to. It's probably the round I like the most because of the upsets. Last year in the first round of the playoffs, every division leader lost. And that was surprising. And it was something that was a storyline going into the second and third round. I think that's the one thing that I'd miss most is just the first round of the NHL playoffs. We'd be somewhere in game 2 or 3 right now.
Yeah, the grind and the emotions that come with this point in the season, just knowing there's so much at stake, there's so much excitement. You're so invested as a fan at this time in the season. You mentioned the winter sports, Alan. Also, the thing I really miss just being, growing up playing basketball is March Madness this time of year. I also love the Big East, and in the Big East tournament, St. John's looked like maybe they were going to make a push. And being a St. John's fan myself, I was really excited for that. And then they just stopped the games at halftime. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a tough time for sports fans right now, and for all of us who cover it and live it and breathe it. I'm having to find other things to talk about with my friends, which has been difficult.
Well, it's even tough because we don't even have our kids playing sports, right? I miss Milford Little League baseball right now. I'm coaching, and you guys think I know a lot about hockey. You should see me on the baseball diamond.
Take it till you make it, Valley.
That's right. That's right.
You're too big to be a pitcher, aren't you, Valley?
Pardon me?
You too big. What do you do on the baseball? What do you like on the baseball diamond?
I'm like the 5th assistant. And
you have analytics for Little League lineups or what?
I come in and give the motivational speeches is what I am. I'm more like the energy guy. I come in well, it's not off the bench. It's out of the dugout, right? The one job I don't want, though, is keeping those notes. Man, that's pretty their analytics is a different story. Forget about it.
I miss being out on the soccer field. My 5-year-old daughter played soccer in the fall, and she wanted to get back into it in the spring. And I don't get to sit out in that freezing cold and watching these 5-year-olds run up and down the field, just like, everybody all around the ball, just going crazy. And parents, even then, even 5-year-old soccer parents are yelling at their kid to score the goal. And what would where are you going? One kid's running the other way, asking for a sippy cup, and it's just My daughter would always stop if somebody fell down and help them up. So I'm hoping that maybe we were teaching her the right thing about sportsmanship. But missing that, missing my daughter's volleyball games where she was in her second season. And then, of course, Val, you'll love this. So my son, Zach, who plays hockey, as you know, he had to play a spring sport at his prep school. And they had him play they wanted him to do track. And I just couldn't wait to see him wearing a track outfit, knowing the way he's built, running 400. Just to see him have to go through that, but he misses out on that as well. So, yeah, the kids stuff certainly is something.
I thought you were going to say third soccer because that's what a lot of the hockey players have to do.
Third lacrosse, just so they can wreck people, yeah. No, they told him track because they wanted him, just to keep running. And he saw the uniform, and he's like, Dad, it's like a tank top and shorts. I'm like, yeah, that's what I did. I played basketball.
And the track shorts those are some short shorts. Basketball shorts. They have a little bit of length, but I don't know. Back when you played, the basketball shorts might have been short still. I don't know. Am I dating you?
I look that old. Do I look that old, Michelle? Appreciate that. Great. Good
so
start to
those
the
are
show.
some of the things, guys, that we're going to miss. But one thing that looks like it's going to take place is the NFL draft. April 23rd, supposed to be the first night. Tua Tagovailoa, I've been practicing that last name for the last 2 days. I think I got it out properly. Is going to be a really interesting story for Alabama because reportedly he's failed some physicals because of his injury problems, some pre-draft physicals, but yet Trent Dilfer watched his workout and has gone all over social media, Alan, about saying how great Tua looks. So the question becomes, are past injuries predictive of what might be his ability to stay healthy in the NFL? Because that seems to be the key question.
All right, you ready for a hot take? Because I've said this on my radio show, and I'll bring it here as well. He's Joe Namath. Because Joe Namath came out of Alabama, same thing, with a knee injury. He had already been hurt, yet so talented. It has that ability to have that one magical season, an MVP-type season, but also you'll have to deal with the fact that he's probably going to get hurt a lot. So that's your risk-reward. With
why do you say that? Valley, you watch athletes all the time. Is past injury history predictive of what's going to happen going forward?
The biggest indicator of future performance is past performance. Now, let's not talk about the physical injury so much and how it affects the body. I always look at the mind, guys. I want to know if a player's been able to get over an injury in the past. Is he able to get over an injury based on what this guy has done either as a youth player or you're getting into junior and then you're getting into high school? Has he ever been able to overcome something? A lot of five-star athletes that get through everything and they're pretty casual through their careers without any bumps, those are the ones I worry about. I had a really interesting conversation yesterday with an NHL executive that was talking about the draft process. The resiliency quotient is what he referred to it as. And I want to know stories where guys have been resilient, overcome some shortcomings, whether it's a lost loved one or if it's something due to injury. But this is something that you have to know the player. You have to know the case because we're not just talking about character. We're talking about, has this guy been able to overcome something like this in the past?
Yeah, I mean, he's got all of the tools. He's creative. He's smart with the football. He's an incredible leader in the locker room and off the field. For what it's worth, just speaking to that, Valley, he talked about players that he likes to emulate his game to and just his personality, and he mentioned Drew Brees. Drew Brees had that devastating shoulder injury, if you remember, when he was playing for the Chargers. The team ended up going with Phillip Rivers, and then Drew obviously went to New Orleans. But he had to also kind of fight back and prove that he deserved to be there, kind of battle that adversity. And Tua actually references him as a guy that he looks up to and tries to emulate his game and his personality after. So, I mean, maybe there's something there from a character standpoint. I completely agree. You know, the question is so black and white, like, should teams take a chance on him or not? And I feel like the answer isn't. And I think that that's things that teams are going to have to see where they feel comfortable. You know, are they going to be okay with the fact that their own medical staff isn't going to get that same hands-on chance to evaluate him? Are they going to be okay with just taking, you know, the Titans doctor said that he was good to go. He's healing well from the surgery. So I think it's a big if for a lot of these teams. And then you wonder too, where is he going to fall? I mean, the Dolphins have 2 first-round picks, Alan, right? Yeah. So are they trading up? I don't know. They have the number 5. Do they need to trade up? I think
Probably
maybe.
not.
Yeah.
Because of where the Giants are, because the Giants are at 4, and, you know, they're not going to take a quarterback, obviously. I mean, Detroit, I mean, what are they going to do at 3? And I mean, if you pass on Chase Young at 2, if you're Washington, you're out of your mind. So it's really Joe Burrow's going 1, and I think Miami does set up to get him. And the fact that they have that second pick, I think that gives them some insurance. And don't get me wrong, it's not me saying that Tua is not going to be a good or a capable NFL quarterback. A lot of times, top 5 quarterbacks don't pan out. The stats are amazing over the last, I think, 20 years. When you take a quarterback in the top 5, how they end up being flops more than they end up being superstars. But he's got that kind of arm. Dilfer is raving about his ability, and the comparisons he's making to me are a little off over the top. But that's why I said Joe Namath. I think he can give you a season where he could be the best player in the league, but you worry all the time about his durability, and yet maybe he's just got to change the way he plays. And also, by the way, you build a wall of granite around this guy and make sure that he's not getting tackled, not getting hit nearly as much, because when you get to the NFL, these young quarterbacks learn quickly that those guys get to you faster than they do in college.
All right, guys, great start. Got to take